Realize that releasing the best of your human capacity will require a level of dogged tenacity, but also a systemic approach in deploying the best of you and then synergizing strategically with others in order to make the most of what you have. Hi, and welcome to Your Voice of Awakening with Martin Stoluhi. It's a pleasure to be here with you again. We've looked at 2 episodes in this series on how to make the most of the year, and we will continue until the end of January. I believe we're going to have about 4 or 5 in this series. Now, we've considered how you need to focus on the year, how you need to set objectives and engage based on objective. Today, I want to look at how can you make sure you thrive and make the most no matter what conditions you might be faced with. Remember, when we came into 2020, none of us was preparing for the happenings and the dramatic occurrences across the globe. Yet, in the midst of all of that, some people were able to make the most of it. So, how do you harness your human capacity and your human energy, your aspirations and your hopes, and make sure you turn them into positive fuel and energy and overcome obstacles and challenges and still execute on your visions and your goals and your dreams? Realize that releasing the best of your human capacity will require a level of dogged tenacity, but also a systemic approach in deploying the best of you and then synergizing strategically with others in order to make the most of what you have. And that's a mouthful, I believe. And you're wondering what we must be in for something special today. In the midst of challenges, those who will thrive as leaders are those who are able to take on challenges and they feast on them as their breakfast. So it's been said that challenges are the breakfast of champions. Challenges are the breakfast of champions. How do you position yourself in such a way that no matter what is thrown at you in the course of the year, you can say, keep it coming, you keep putting them down, and then use them as fuel, as energy to be able to build and go further faster in the year? How do you position yourself in that way? Also, you understand that those who thrive and those who go ahead, they possess this capacity that you cannot stop them. They are simply unstoppable. How can you position yourself in such a way that you can say to yourself you are unstoppable in your goals, in your aspirations, and in the objectives you've set for the year? The first of them is what I call goals are great, but systems are superior. You've got to keep this consciousness going in your mind that goals may be great, but systems are superior. What I'm simply advocating for you to do in this year is to, have your objectives, stipulate the goals, great, document the goals, but now take each of the goals, the fewer the better, and then sit back and think through the process is going to take to deliver these goals and these objectives, and then build a system around the process. System thinking and system engagement will be the major way and the major advantage you are going to have over and above most of the society. Now, 95% of people set no goals at all. All right? People have wishes but no definable objectives. Only about 95% by statistics is said to have defined objectives set, written, documented, and focused upon. But even at that, so if you set goals and objectives, you have moved your mark above over 95% of the larger masses, right? Okay. However, now among the remaining 5%, only about 2% of the population does have a system by which they are deploying. They have a process to walk through to deploy their goals and their aspirations and their objectives. All right. So and so if you are able to define your objectives and set out your process and your system of executing, you realize that you will have moved yourself into that 1 or 2 percentile that is able to consistently, execute on the best of your ideas, on the best of your goals. And you realize that in that realm, you really are not operating within competition, so to say. So you're able to you walk your way through and make things work in your favor, right? So how do you do that? How do you work a system? Okay, so the key here is to look at the different elements that will make up delivering these goals, and then what are the inputs, what are the outputs, and how will they interact, who will you need. And so if you understand this process, what it's going to take, you can design your own system, and it's documented. You are able to watch it, and as things will change as you go along, you're able to adapt as you go along. So it becomes an adaptable system that is adaptable and is targeted to delivering realizable, measurable benefits. And so that's the first imperative. The second practice that will help you to thrive no matter what is happening around you in your community is to make sure that you acknowledge that systematic synergy is superior to strength and size. I repeat myself again. A systematic synergy is superior to strength and size. Now, no matter how strong or how capable you feel you are, find a way to pull some mastermind group around what you're executing on. Get other minds to interact with what you are doing, with your project, with your startup, with what you currently are doing. You've got a system, you've got objectives, you've set this thing out, and then get others engaged. Because you see, when you are in the picture, you can't see the frame. There are things you can't see. There are blind sides you don't know. And so when you synergize with others, you realize that you have a superior handle on your goals and your aspirations. So I will encourage you to reach out this year. One of the goals I set for myself this year is to make sure that I pull in many more people into my mastermind pool, such that I can achieve and execute at another level and at another dimension of my aspirations. Is that right? So make sure you have a system. Beyond the system, synergize. No, other people will say network. What I'm saying, synergy. When you are doing synergy, what you simply are doing is you offer something, you help other people to grow, and then they also reach out for you to grow. Reach out to other people and make sure you find a way to synergize. Spot size and seize problems such that you can transform them into significant solutions. I repeat that again. Spot, size, and seize problems or issues or challenges such that you can transform those problems you've spotted, you've sized or defined, and then you have seized or taken responsibility for. See how you can transform them into significant solutions so you can make the most of the year. Because problems will come along the path of trying to execute on your goals, on your aspirations, on your objectives. But the thing to do is to quickly pick those problems, spot them before they happen, as likely risk. But if they have happened, they are now issues to you. Pick them up and see how can you deploy the best of you to size them, define what the problem is, and then Take responsibility, ownership, and see how you can make the most of it, transforming them into significant solutions. In that way, you realize that whatever problems, whatever challenges, whatever issues might come along the path of executing for your ideas in the new year, you realize that they become a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. All right. So you receive stepping stones, problem becomes stepping stones and not stumbling blocks. When I say sport, you look with a different set of eye when you look at your goals and your project. Sometimes you look with the eye of an external investigator. What could go wrong? What are the scenarios? Scenario planning comes in this dimension. What are the scenarios that could come out? And there are often always several scenarios. It could be 5, 6, 7, and then you trace the path, the decision tree, and see what could happen, and you know what to do. Second is to size the problem. And in the Lean Six Sigma world, it is called defining the problem. You define what is the problem definition, because oftentimes the problem you see on the surface is a result of several other things below it. So you ask the 5 whys. Ask why this, why that for 5 times, and then you document and you're able to walk through them, and then you are able to spot what the real issues might be, because the issues that appear on the surface come with several other ones buried, like the iceberg below the water. So what you see might be an indication of something going wrong below. So identify, size the problem, define what the problems or the issues are, and then seize them. Take them on as a challenge. Own the problem, own the issues, and then deploy your best. And that way you realize that you are able to transform them to significant solutions. By so doing, you will have transformed a stumbling block into a stepping stone in the issues that you encounter along the path of executing on your best objective in this year. So here you go. To thrive and make the most of the year, and no matter what is thrown at you, you make the most of it. You need to see that goals may be great, but systems are superior. So you build systems to support the goals and objectives you have, and then you synergize with other people, and then also you spot, size, and seize the problems that may come along the way. Drop me a comment below on what you are learning. Share each or any of these ideas that resonated with you the most, and let's keep the conversation going. Bye for now, and God bless.